So not only did that cost us Cubs ML last night, that just cost the Cubbies the season. I cannot believe they blew that 6-0 lead last night when I told everybody the Cubs ML was my most confident play. That was moose shit. Give me the Ducks. I'm fading Colorado. Give me Oregon to win this game big and catch Colorado sleeping, coming in on their high horse thinking they could beat anybody. Well, they're about to get taught a lesson. That was the most Notre Dame melt I've ever seen.
So I don't know why we're rushing 3, even if we're short a guy. I don't know why linebackers are not playing up further on the line. I don't understand any part of it.
The Cowboys did it again. They lose to the freaking Cardinals.
That's a concerning game for sure from the Cowboys. The real meat on table play would be his completions. There's just not a line out for that yet, so I don't want his full number out of my ass. But he's going to dink and dunk their way to a lot of completions and probably a lot of yards too.
Damn, brand new bag for pro, but I didn't pay for it. I don't like spending that cash because I'm trying.
What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Wednesday, episode 327 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two co-hosts, Krabs and Javon, who is back. How's the move been going, man? Nothing like moving on the first day of MLB playoffs, right smack dab in the middle of your Rays play.
Yeah, bad man. I was in piss unpacking. Just never any hope for it. So that was fun.
Yeah, you said the one time you took a break to check your phone, you see that there's a Rays boost going around yesterday, and you just put the phone back down and said, you know what, fuck this. And I don't blame you.
Yeah, I bet.
I don't blame you. We'll talk about the Rays potentially having life today. It seems like a very popular angle, at least on Gambling Twitter. Chat, we're going to go through all the MLB games. We got plenty of time, an hour and a half here before the Surge stream. We're back to normal operation today, folks. We'll have Trent taking over after this for Surge stream. Make sure you guys stick around. And we got a Lembong, sub-bang, W's Lembong. Remember, guys, we do it all for him. We really do it all for Lembong. And we got Spade 789 coming in with a sub-bang as well. Guys, we had over 1,300 people in here yesterday. Shout out Trent. Shout out you guys in the community. Javon, it was honestly pretty fucking electric. Trent would have done whatever he had to get 1,000 people in the stream. Take that as you will, but he would have done whatever, and we got it, honestly, kind of with ease on the first day. So I am a man of my words. I will be doing a 24-hour stream, whether it's this Sunday leading into Monday or the following Sunday leading into Monday. I'm trying to figure out when the KBO playoffs start up, trying to figure out what will be the optimal time to run one. I'm thinking we got London games coming up the next 2 weeks, starting up at 9:30 Eastern. So I'm going to fire up a 24-hour stream either this Sunday or the following Sunday, which I'm probably eyeing, honestly, more because I've got a little bit of a golf trip with the buddies starting up tomorrow. Pretty much the only time I'm away during the NFL season. So it's probably more reasonable to set it for next Sunday. Chat, you guys know I'm a man of my word. You know I'm going to do this. And not only are we going to do a 24-hour stream, I'm going to have a bunch of incentives on there for me doing shits if we hit, sub goals and shit like that. So stay posted. Probably going to be next Sunday, not this Sunday, but I'm going to confirm that this week with you guys. Either way, it's coming. I'm a man of my word. We'll take care of it. And Javon, what the hell am I supposed to even do for 24 hours, man? I'm going to need some ideas. Definitely play some 2K probably, maybe some MLB The Show, maybe some silly forts, KBO potentially, sweating out the NFL slate all day Sunday. Maybe we get some playoff baseball as well. But, yeah, that'll be a new experience for me. I'm excited for it, though. W stream. Javon.
Yeah. Big
How about the Twins yesterday, man? We're going to talk about the W Tapia twins coming through yesterday, respecting coins. Absolute lock of the eon. The Twins were yesterday. I don't know about today, and we'll talk about that game. We got plenty of time, chat. We'll do some look at headlines for college and NFL today. We'll go over all 4 MLB playoff games, and I also want Javon's angles on some of these series and the postseason going forward because we really didn't get his thoughts yesterday. And then we're going to talk about some of these mid-college football games tonight, Javon. And then, of course, the squad ride as well, as we get a sub-bangy from Mad Skills 4-1. 24-hour stream going to be a movie. Yep. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. Javon, I need one cool, silly idea from you that I need to be doing on that for some sort of sub-attainable goal. I need you to craft up one.
I'll cook.
Yep. W's. Shout out Royce Lewis last night. I mean, literally Royce Bonds coming through. Didn't even think he was going to be playing. And then turns out he was in the lineup. And turns out he's hitting absolute piss rockets left and right. I think he had 2 yesterday, Javon. How about Royce?
Yeah, he's so good.
Coming through, respecting coins. He's good. He's good at
He's
baseball.
very good. Yeah,
My
I mean,
goodness, look at that.
If they keep getting through, and obviously he's got to stay healthy during this too, but if he's playing like this and they're getting through these rounds of the playoffs, this could be a Randy-like postseason run. So I'm pretty excited to see it.
Okay, don't let Royce Lewis get hot.
People forget he was the first pick in the draft.
People do forget that.
People forget that.
That might have been before you were born, Goots. You might have still been in Goots diapers. That was a while ago. Shout out Royce Lewis, a late bloomer, right? They got him. They got Byron Buxton. You can consider a late bloomer as well, probably. Maybe it's more just his, limbs falling off his body because he's made out of glass. But these late bloomers, don't sleep on them. The Twins might not have the biggest names on that roster, but they win. And at home, they score runs, Javon. You brought that up on Monday. They like to play at home. And they got, an unbelievable play from Michael A. Taylor against the wall doing what he does best, and that's playing incredible defense in center field to pretty much secure this one because it was getting pretty sketched there late. Shout out Michael A. Taylor, 2019 World Series champion. People forget he was starting in center field, no Robles that year. The guy's a winner. He might not be the best hitter up there. He might strike out 30% of his at-bats, but the dude wins, and you need players like Michael A. Taylor out there on the field to advance in the postseason. Might not be a big name, but W play from him. He might have had 4 strikeouts yesterday. I don't know, but it was all Michael A. Taylor.
His half total base square was green. I know I slipped that.
He was also green.
So at least he did that. Yeah.
Sure. W's Michael A. him. Literally. Unbelievable play from him. No steamed crabs today, folks. I really don't have much to be upset about. And I'm sure that now that I just said that, I'll probably have something to bitch about from the bets today. But we've got plenty to talk about, chats. Make sure you check out the ticker below. We've got some of our best bets in there. A lot of you guys like to ask what our favorite plays are while we're locked in, grinding on the stream. But we've got them on the bottom. W Goots with the ticker there. Danny says he's tailing crabs. Yeah, let's stay hot. All right, let's stay hot. No need to be bragging here, but we're on a little bit of a hot streak. Javon, we got to find some winners for the people today. And I've got some plays I really like, and I know you do too on this Moose Shit slate.
Yeah, for sure.
W's.
For sure.
Yep. Let's go ahead and get the college football and NFL look headlines out of the way. Let's take a peep at some of these games this weekend, Javon, that I've got my eye on. We got a couple really good college football games. My goodness. Might as well start out with your squads. And I'm not talking about the Horned Frogs. I'm talking about Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner. Javon, they're coming. This team is legit, and they've got a matchup against Texas with that spread slowly creeping down towards OU for the last week or so. Are we grabbing the points, as many as we still can? Is this something we need to lock in soon? I'm assuming we're not going to get a better number with Oklahoma at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt they're going to let it touch 7. So that's what I'll be taking. I really don't care what number you get for this one because I think it's going to be a nothing straight Oklahoma win in this game. But yeah, I don't mind it. But Oklahoma, the shocking kind of narrative that I've heard so far this week is that Texas is going to steamroll them. So I thought Oklahoma, with the way that they've looked, I mean, the argument is kind of that they're fraudulent and haven't played many teams yet, which I was expecting people to buy into that as a little public narrative that they're really a lot better than they are. But I'm seeing a lot of Texas love, which is strange to see. I didn't expect that coming into this week.
Well, that's a great sign because I've wanted to take Oklahoma for the last couple of days, and I definitely would be on them grabbing the points at Texas. Like you said before, Javon, has this Texas team really faced a good QB this season? I mean, even last week they got blessed with no Daniels there, and they had to go up against Bean, who is, okay, but he's no Daniels. They'll get their test, their first true test here this week against Dylan Gabriel and this Oklahoma offense that's firing on all cylinders. And let's not sleep on Venables' defense as well. They can come to play even on the roads and make this game weird. The total has come down, about 8 points since that opener a couple weeks ago. I don't know how much it's come down, this week. Not moving up. So it looks like it's going to be a low-scoring, closer game than people expect, and it's a great sign that we're already hearing the squares all over Texas. W's.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the past, 10-ish years, like in this current iteration of the Big 12, I guess prior to this season, when there's games, the Texas-Oklahoma, the Red River Shootout, when this game matters to both these teams, very often do you see the team that you think is significantly better, that the public's significantly better, win the game. So as an Oklahoma backer in this game in this season, I feel good about that.
And this is a neutral site. It's not
Yeah,
at
neutral site.
Oklahoma. They're actually playing this, I believe, somewhere in Texas. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, Dallas.
Okay. So they're playing it in Dallas. W's, not, at Texas here, but still in Texas. Probably will still be majority, orange. But there still should be some Boomer Sooner people
it'll
traveling,
be split.
right? That's a big game.
Yeah, it'll be split.
Okay. I don't think it's at Jerry's World. Looks like it's at where the Cotton Bowl is.
Yeah,
You know where that is?
Yeah.
W's. Yeah, give me the points. Do you think they're a live dog here, Oklahoma, especially if they're not having to go play at University of Texas? Do you think the ML is worth a look here, Javon?
100%.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be, again, a game where Oklahoma on all sides of the ball, you look at them this season, and I guess a lot of people think that they haven't proven anything, but I don't know why people think that Texas has proven all that much either when they've played – I don't want to say relative, like similar competition, because I don't want to downplay the Alabama win out of Alabama, even though this isn't the same Alabama team. But they've played Jalen Milroe and JT Daniels as the only two starting quarterbacks they've faced this season. Dylan Gabriel's been amazing. Let's see him prove it.
Okay, I'm in on Gabriel. Look, I bought the hype with you preseason. I mean, how could I not with the sell job you gave on that team? And seeing it come to fruition, seeing, 5 games under their belts, they're looking good, Javon. I don't want to jinx anything, but this Oklahoma team is panning out to, be looking exactly how you called it before the season. Why not go to him in the spot that you knew you were going to be taking anyways, with that line moving towards OU a little bit? Honestly, let's hope that gets back down to 6. It's a win-win. Either it goes back to 7 and we get a decent number, or the line keeps moving towards Oklahoma with reverse line movement and we lock in a nasty shorter number. But either way, in the back of our minds, we know that that's the right play. And we're going to be on them either way. It's a win-win. Very rare.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
W's. Let's keep moving and grooving here, folks. Javon, pretend you're my financial advisor. I have OU over win totals to win the Big 12 and to make the playoffs. Would you say it's best to just stay off this game? I say yes, but everyone says I'm soft. Thanks.
Well, I'll say this. If Oklahoma wins this game, I'm not going to pencil it in because obviously anything can happen the rest of the season, but I feel very, very confident that they will go over their win total and at least make the Big 12 championship game if they win this game, which I think they're going to make the championship game at the least anyway. But yeah, I wouldn't say you're too soft for staying off. I'll say that.
Okay. All right. That is a lot of points to work with, though. If you're grabbing the points on the spread, 6.5 points, that's a lot on a neutral site. So, I wouldn't say it's hedging your bet at all, but I wouldn't say grabbing the 6.5 points is the same thing as back in Oklahoma to win their conference or go to the college football playoffs or anything like that. You're still getting 6.5 points. It's not like you're taking them out. It seems like the Gen's looking for somebody to tell him to just grow up and take the points, and I'll be that guy. Just grow up and take the points, man. You love this spot. What's a reasonable one unit gonna hurt, even if they don't come through?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very similarly invested, minus the playoff ticket, and I'll have a unit.
I'm sure you'll be on the spread. I'm sure you'll have even a sneak ML ticket in your pocket. Sure.
Yeah, it won't be so sneak. I'll have an ML ticket. Okay. I'll tell you that now.
W's, the Gen, we have no choice, man. We got to back Oklahoma. Booner Sooner. Let's keep moving and grooving. Let's talk about the Terps and Ohio State. The Terps getting no respect with the opening line here. Looks like it's come down a little bit, down to 20. I thought I saw it at like 17 this morning, Javon, but now I'm seeing it back up to 20. Maybe there's been some movement between now and then. Or maybe I'm just a bozo and I saw the wrong number. But either way, do you think the Terps should be getting 3 touchdowns here? I mean, they've put on an absolute clinic so far this season, especially offensively. They're undefeated. I'm honestly surprised they're not ranked. And I thought they probably should be, and maybe they got snubbed. And that's not the kind of team that I want to be fading, especially on a spread this fat. A team that's coming into this game pissed off against one of the best, definitely against the best in their, conference. And they're, coming in with a chip on their shoulder here on the road, Javon, knowing that they probably should be ranked. And now they're going to have to play pissed off and probably win this game outright to get ranked, because even if they lose by a touchdown, they probably won't if they weren't ranked the week before at 5-0 in this spot being perfect. So an angry Terps team with that offense and that veteran QB, I honestly give the edge at QB to the Terps in this matchup, even on the road going to Ohio State. But I'd say Ohio State has the edge literally everywhere else. Ohio State's defense has honestly impressed me so far this season and will be by far the best defense the Terps have seen so far this year. I mean, they've pretty much played DoorDash drivers all season, even their conference games against Michigan State and Indiana. I mean, those are two weak programs right now. They're gonna have their hands full in this spot. And my point is that spread opening up at 21 because Ohio State's going to kind of quiet the UMD hype here and put them back in their place?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like we've seen the same story 50 times before. Maryland comes in with a super soft non-conference schedule, and then a couple, maybe if that, cupcakes to start the conference season like they have this year, and then they go into Ohio State and they get absolutely rocked. And it seems pretty similar, like it's going to happen this year. And I am right with everyone. I think Maryland is a little better, a little fraudulent than we've seen like from past years when we get to this point against Ohio State. But this Ohio State defense is better. It's honestly, I mean, it's a worse quarterback situation. So I think this number kind of staying near where we've seen it in past years is pretty telling to begin with. You have Ohio State coming off a bye week, I believe, too. This is definitely a spot that just feels like an absolute destruction by Ohio State to me. Yeah.
As a Maryland guy,
every single time.
I can confirm this. Yep. It happens every year. Now, this is the best Maryland team we've seen in a while. We can't, deny that. This Terps team is very good. But it's still the same old Terps team, still Loxley. It might have to be Ohio State or nothing here in the spot.
It just feels like a classic. You look up at the scoreboard and it's 35-0 at halftime. It's like it is every time Ohio State plays one of these teams in the Big Ten that just seems kind of good for the beginning of the season. They just go into the horseshoe and get rocked.
And then they put them in their place. Yep.
Yeah. 49-21.
49-21. Sheesh. Okay. Well, that's a cover for Ohio State, and I'll be staying off the Terps this weekend. Ron Lux Clam coming in hot with a sub bang. Death taxes and Ron Lux Clam. You guys know the drill. W's Ron. We got Coastal KC coming in with a sub bang. We got D Hope 910 coming in with a sub bang. Roadster coming in hot with a subby. 3 months. Let's go Twins. Let's go Roadster. W's. Love to see it, folks. We got a hype train. We got 9 subbies already given out in the first 20 minutes here, folks. Vibes are up. Squad rides are smacking. Why not us? Let's have a day today. All right. Trent's in piss already. He's going back to the well, taking the same plays as yesterday. Guys, I promise we'll have plenty of time to talk about MLB. Let's keep powering through the college football look-ahead lines here. There's some nasty games. There's some weird lines. We got to show them to you guys and get you hip so you don't lock in any, fake sharp plays, a week early before the games. Let's take a peep at Wazoo and UCLA, Javon. I hate UCLA. I hate betting on UCLA. They're always fake sharp. They're always public. They have great uniforms. They're fun. They're exciting. They score a bunch. But, Javon, I'm probably going to have to be on the Bruins, which I hate doing this week. But you're telling me a team who I know they're good. I know they're overhyped, and they're probably even overvalued on the betting markets. They're laying 3.5 to a ranked, undefeated Wazoo team after UCLA is coming in off a loss? What's going on here with this line?
Yeah, I have no clue. I mean, I'm one of the bigger, I guess on both sides, I'm a massive UCLA hater. I think they are not very good, and I love Washington State, and I think they very soon, especially Cam Ward, should be included near the little top echelon of Pac-12 teams right now, the way that they're playing. But this looks like, I would argue, the easiest bet on the board this week for college football. And I guess if you scroll through TikTok and Twitter, I've seen already a couple times Washington State with the points, freest play of the week. So as much as I hate it, this line stinks, and I think it's probably pretty reflective of what's going to happen this weekend. This feels awfully similar, I guess, injury situation, possibly a little different, but it feels pretty similar to the Oregon State-Utah game last week, where you're getting a team at home laying a little more points than I think you would have thought. I was surprised to see them favored even in the first place, and they might just roll.
Crazy line. Give me the Bruins. I got this one circled. Might end up being my favorite play of the weekend. How can it not be? I mean, this is just a Krabs line. You look up Krabs line,
yeah, it is.
And it's probably the first thing that comes up. Just shows the UCLA -3.5 against Wazoo. Nasty. I'm in. All right,
100%.
Let's keep moving and grooving. We've got Colorado and Arizona State, Javon. Colorado has come back down to earth a little bit. Got to tip my cap. Although they are 3-2, they showed some serious heart last week and almost came back and won that freaking game. And I want it on record, me saying that Shedeur Sanders is unbelievable, and he will be a number 1 overall pick probably next year in the draft if Caleb Williams doesn't actually pull this fluke shit and, not go to the draft because of the team that's going to pick him. But this kid's legit. And as soon as this team can get an O-line that doesn't get a flag on every drive, or they can get a D-line that can actually cause consistent pressure, Colorado will actually deserve to be ranked, and they will be a ranked team. Was it premature this year? Was that part of the reason why I was so pissed at the public slurping this team? Yes, it was. And I didn't do a good enough job of emphasizing that. That's on me. But this Colorado team is just not ready yet. They're so close. They have great skill players. They've got all the pieces lined up. They just need guys on the O-line and D-line. And that's coming next year. But Javon, it's still this year, man. So we got to find ways to fade this overvalued, overrated team. And with the spread opening up at Colorado -5.5, not surprised to see him open up as a favorite in this spot. I still think Colorado is a better team than Arizona State, but opening up at 5.5, that's fat on the road, coming off of back-to-back losses. And I know Arizona State's hurt. They're depleted. They're 1-4. They're not in a good spot. Do you think that was some serious respect for Colorado, or should I throw that fat spread out the window because I know that Colorado is going to get that overvalued line set by the odds makers? And is it Arizona State with the line pulling back a point towards them now at 4.5?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's kind of tough to read this game. So I don't think the spread's all that weird because, I mean, we saw at the very least pretty comparable performances with both these teams against USC. I guess that's the main thing you can go back to here. So, I mean, I think they're pretty similar. And Arizona State especially, I can guarantee you I'm going to be on Scatterbo props this week. One of the more surprising run games I've seen in the Pac-12 with him kind of emerging now, and they played pretty well last week against a pretty tough Cal defense, especially against the run too. So I do think they're just going to run all over them, and maybe Colorado pulls this one out by a field goal. I think it'll be a pretty close game. But on both sides, I think it's just going to be back and forth. So I kind of lean ASU, but I don't know what to do with it yet.
Gun to my head, I'm taking ASU as well with the points, and I have a feeling this is going to close at 3.5. Right now they're at 4.5, chat. So if you know you're going to be fading Colorado this week, probably wouldn't be a bad move to lock in ASU for a unit. You guys know how I am. I prefer to just wait and make sure that I still love a side rather than get good CLV. That's just how I am in my brain. There's no right or wrong answer. You can bet however you want. That's just how I roll. So I'm probably going to wait it out and make sure there's no, Colorado back up to 5.5 or 6 or some BS like that sketches me. But I have a feeling this is only going to get a shorter line for ASU at home here, and they're probably going to be the play. Give me the points.
Yeah.
Give me the points. All right. Let's take a peep at Kentucky and Georgia real quick, Javon. Not game day, but it probably would have been if Texas and Oklahoma weren't playing each other in that, elite rivalry game. This one should be good. Now, I will say Georgia opened up at, I think, like 20.5 in this game, maybe 23.5. That could have been a look-ahead line, though, from weeks ago. Either way, they opened up getting 2 touchdowns, and immediately Georgia is now back down to 14.5 in this spot. Look, Kentucky has looked unbelievable this season. They're 5-0. They're ranked. They deserve their flowers. They've been performing. They've got the results. They've even covered. The last 3 weeks, they've covered 4 out of the 5 weeks this season, Javon. They've been good. To bettors, including myself, who took them last week against Florida, and that was the freest bet on the board. Now, Georgia has not covered a game all season. They're 0-5 ATS. Sure, they've gotten it done, and they're undefeated. They're where they need to be. They're probably still going to be in the college football playoffs, ranked number 1, unless they lose that game to Tennessee at the end of the year. But it's got to be Georgia with the points here. It's got to be fading Kentucky, who's been a cash cow, who whenever they go into Georgia, they get stopped. No matter how good their team is or how, mid Georgia's been, 5 or 10 years ago, Kentucky's not going in there, and they're not keeping this game close. And I love that this look-ahead line was so fat, Javon, and even if it's gotten pulled back to 2 touchdowns, I still am thinking about laying it with Georgia here to cover for the first time this season when everybody's all over Kentucky and saying Georgia might not be legit this year. I think they do win this game by 2 touchdowns plus. Give me the Bulldogs at home.
I agree. I think their offense scores at will in this game. I wouldn't mind to play on the over because I think Georgia is going to get pretty close themselves. And honestly, it might only take a touchdown from Kentucky to take this one over. I think Georgia scores in the 40s in this game. So I would love to lay the points with them this week at home.
Okay. Yep. I might honestly be on it. I hate laying 14.5 in college football, but I might not have a choice. With how good Kentucky's been against the spread for sports bettors' wallets, they've just been great this season. And this spread tells me everything I need to know. Georgia rolls, and they look like the number 1 team in the country this week. They get it done. All right,
Yep.
One more college game, Notre Dame and Louisville. Javon, the Irish, they pulled it out by the skin of their freaking teeth. last week, man. Unbelievable run by Estime, unbelievable cover from the Irish. Now they got to go to Louisville and play a very good offense with a veteran QB, a team that you both and I, both of us have been very high on this season, before the season, and we like what we've been seeing out of Louisville, overall. Are we taking the points here after the legacy Notre Dame cover? Are we staying off this game because we don't really know how bad or good Notre Dame is? What are you thinking here? Do we back Notre Dame to do what we thought they were going to do last week, where we thought they were going to dominate Duke in a public spot there, public dog? Or do we just stay off the Irish, man? What is good with them?
I'm not staying off the Irish. I'm doing it again.
You're doing it again, huh?
Yeah, because last week, there was a clear edge going into the game in the trenches on both sides. Duke is definitely a much better and much more comparable line, at least defensively, to Notre Dame than a Louisville is going to be. So this is going to be a game that I think you see Estime dominate, but they're going to have to stack the box, and it's going to be a little bit of a Sam Hartman game. I think the secondary, I think we've seen it so far this season for Louisville, is garbage. Haven't seen them offensively put up a full game outside of Boston College, whose defense is absolutely horrendous. So I think this is just another Notre Dame huge spot. I hate that it's kind of a look-ahead spot, I guess you could say, to the USC game, but it's they've been in this stretch, like you pulled up the tweet, for 4 weeks now, so it's kind of in the thick of everything. But, yeah, I think they roll in the spot. I think this is the first game that you're going to see against somebody who's not like a Tennessee State. Their passing attack be really potent. So I'm excited to watch this game.
Okay. I don't know if I can take the bait on the Irish here, or maybe not even bait. I don't know if I can lay it with the Irish here in the spot. Not saying I want to back Louisville, but we did see those gentlemen flip over a car a couple weeks ago. And if they can do that, they might be able to act like Duke's D-line last week as well. It worries me a little bit, the physicality of the Irish. They really disappointed me on the road last week. They looked sorry as hell, and they got bailed out late in that game. They did not deserve to get that win or cover. Maybe that is why you're laying it with Notre Dame in this spot, because they know that they barely escaped with the win in that spot. They probably shouldn't have, and they got to keep their foot on the gas, and they got to start impressing some people and proving to them that they are worth, potentially making a college football playoffs, even with a loss. That's got to be their mindset, whether it's realistic or not, right? It's not like they're giving up with one loss. So they're probably going to try to stomp on Louisville, and I don't hate the spot for them there after Notre Dame really has not looked good the last couple of weeks. Maybe it is the Irish, but I don't think I'm going to be on it. I don't think I have the cojones.
Fair enough. I'll do it for
What about Bama? Real quick, Bama versus A&M. This line sketches me out. We don't have to talk about it too much, but definitely want to fade Bama this week and take A&M with the points here at home, barely getting any, +2.5.
Yeah, it's definitely a line that, if you were to look at the start of the season, at the very least, you'd say it's wild. I don't know. I don't know how to value Alabama right now, because you've kind of seen there's been a shift in somewhat play calling, but it's helped their offense flow a little bit better. A lot more designed runs for Jalen Milroe, which in turn is kind of helping the offensive line in the pass game to protect, which they're pretty poor at. Especially in the Texas game, but to start the season. So he looks a lot more comfortable now. And Texas A&M looks incredible, especially coming off of last week against Arkansas, a rivalry game in Jerry's World, where they absolutely dominated that game for 4 quarters. I don't know. I think Texas A&M is going to be a little more public than some people would think or try to argue throughout the week. So I don't know. I'll be keeping an eye on this line.
Okay. Maybe a little bit more of a public dog than we want. As of right now, they're not, but we'll see.
Yeah.
You're right. It's not like people are acting like Bama's the number 1 team in the country this season. People are onto them. They know they're not legit. So it's not that crazy of a spot, but I still feel like I got to take the 2.5 points here with an unranked team against Nick Saban and Bama.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll be on the points. Give me that. All right. Let's go ahead and roll. Let's talk about a couple NFL games here. We got 4 lines that are looking at us a little bit funny here, Javon. We'll start out with Houston and Atlanta. Sources are talking. Rumor has it Javon likes his Falcons again this week. They've been your squad this year, I feel like.
Yeah, and I've tried to be pretty careful picking spots with them, minus, I guess, the Lions game. I failed at that. But really, now they're back at home against a Texans team who's impressed, I think, the world at this point. Now everybody's starting to get pretty hip to them, and now they're going on the road, and where the Falcons at home have been really the only semblance of good for the past really couple years now, but especially to begin the season and tail off of last season. So now you see the Texans going from +1 to +2 against a Falcons team that nobody seems to respect, and they're coming off a couple of pretty disappointing games, especially the London game where they got absolutely dominated in every facet by the Jags. That ain't happening this week. Falcons are winning this game, and I'll be on them.
Are you going to wait and try to get him on the ML if that line continues to move down? What's your game plan here?
I'm going to snag it pretty soon because, I mean, it's already 1-2. I don't know if it's going to get any higher than that, but I'd rather not take the chance.
Okay. Are you taking the ML?
Yeah.
Okay. And people in chat are saying, rumor has it, a little blue book might have alt receptions now. That could be fun.
That could be fun.
It's good to know. All right. Give me Atlanta as well. I hate fading Stroud. I like that guy. You know, I was one of the only people who said that he was going to be better than Bryce Young and be the best QB in that class before, the season started. And I still stand by that. I still really like CJ Stroud, and I think he's a franchise QB, and Houston absolutely hit the lotto with him. Do not get me wrong. Guys, this is a spot play. Remember, we bet numbers, not teams. And although Houston's treated us well, although they're swaggy, although we might have called that CJ Stroud's legit, that's all in the past, and you got to throw that out. That's the reason why the sports books make so much freaking money. People are using their biases, recency bias, to affect their bets too much. We got to look at this spot right here, and we got to fade Houston, who's now becoming one of the most, public dogs, teams people are rooting for this NFL season early on. So we got to fade. We got to take the Falcons, who looked like moose shit last week, with Desmond Ridder, who, if he doesn't figure it out this week, he better be finding bench, and they better put Taylor Heineke in that game, because this team is pretty good, and they're going to waste a season where they have a winner on their bench who's proven that he finds ways to win in ways where no one else really can. Taylor Heineke, magic hands. Put him in the fucking game. Straight up.
Trade for Kirk.
The guy wins. You can't tell me that Desmond Ridder has more to offer right now than Taylor Heineke out there. He doesn't. He doesn't.
Yeah, he's probably got a couple weeks left. But, I mean, the unfortunate part is he's going to win this week. So that's going to make his job seem a little safer.
That is true. I'm rooting for Desmond Ridder this week, folks. Not rooting against him.
Yeah.
But I'm biased with Heineke, and I want to see him out there, obviously.
Yeah,
and I think that he kind of got screwed here. I know he got the bag, right? I knew he wasn't coming back to DC the way we treated him at the end of the season. He got the bag. He's happy. He's content. He doesn't have to worry about money anymore. But I know that competitive motherfucker wants to get out there and play. And I know he's thinking in his head right now, I give this team a way better chance to win right now than Desmond Ridder being out there. But hopefully this week, with that line being set at Atlanta -2, maybe we do get Desmond Ridder's first good NFL game of the season. Okay?
Yeah, I don't think it'll have to be him. But, yeah, it feels like Texans +2 feels like Washington State +4.
Yep. Agreed. Looks like the easiest bet on the board. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Cooper Kupp is practicing today and eligible to return anytime. This duo might light the league on fire. Yeah, we'll see. I'm hearing some conflicted stuff. And also, I'll believe it when I see it with Cooper Kupp, who has maybe the worst hamstring injury of all time. He's had it for years. He's still dealing with it right now. He's old. I'm sketched. Even if he does play this week, I don't even know if I'm going to start him in fantasy football. So TBD on that, folks. We'll talk more about that and the Rams situation with Cooper Kupp later in the week. For now, we're going over these look-ahead lines, and I want to go to Tennessee and Indiana real quick. W win from the Titans this past week against the Bengals. Javon, great read there. Let's not sleep on the Colts, though, either. I mean, they have overperformed and overexceeded all my expectations, and they're only 2-2. I thought they're going to be one of the worst teams in football. I was not an Anthony Richardson guy. But you know what, Javon? He has proved me wrong and shut me up. This kid is legit, and he does have all the tools to be a franchise QB. And I've been very impressed with him so far this season, even though he's missed a game with an injury. The Colts might be like that. And they're getting a running back this week, Jonathan Taylor, who TBD if he's going to play, but he is reporting back to practice today. You put him in that lineup, that elevates the running back room immensely. Zach Moss has been doing fine. He's doing his job, but let's not act like he's better than Jonathan Taylor, one of the best young running backs in football. I'm not saying I want to take the Colts in this spot. If anything, I want to fade the Colts if Jonathan Taylor is coming back, because I'm seeing the Titans now -1 in the spot when they opened up +1. And I hate that the Titans are coming off that nice big win against Cincy at home last week, but I don't see a world where I don't at least lean the Titans as a small favorite on the road against the Colts, who have been pretty decent coming off that nice OT win, and also with their star running back coming back.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely interesting to see this line flip with Tennessee on the road here, even coming off of that big win, like you said. but you have to lean them. I mean, I think this Titans team offensively is going to keep getting better throughout the season.
And yes, they lost. That's on me. But they went to OT and had a legacy fourth quarter to get it there. But that's on me. They did lose to the Rams. Keep going.
Yeah, they lost that one. But, I mean, they came back in the game, which was pretty impressive and fun to see. But, yeah, the Titans offense, I think, is going to continue to get better. Not saying they're going to go out there and be the most dynamic offense in the league or anything, but we've seen everybody pretty down on Derrick Henry until last week. Tyjae Spears is finding his own. DeAndre Hopkins really is starting to look better and find his own too. So, again, not going to have like the greatest offense in the world, but I think they're going to get better. They had some tough matchups to begin the season. And if you want to talk about some tough matchups too, this is Mike Vrabel against a rookie quarterback for the first time. So that'll be fun to see how he kind of game plans and schemes around him there.
Yep. And our guy Hemlocks in chat knows ball. He's talking about Indy's atrocious pass rush. Sure, their D-line can hang in there a little bit, but yeah, their secondary is nothing to write home about right now. And Ryan Tannehill loves mucking up some shitty defenses. He's never going to play well against a good one, but he sure as heck might. And I take that veteran brain against that young secondary who's really disappointed so far this season. I love a lot of angles pointing towards Tennessee here. Yep. Dubs. What about Cincinnati and Arizona? We talk about Joe Burrow. No way they go 1-3, right? Well, now they're 1-3. Javon, are they going to go 1-4? Looks like the public is tripling down here on the Bengals. They're already public. Or actually, it's looking like the Cardinals are bringing in 58% of bets. W. Good showing this graphic from Green Book. 58% of bets are coming in on the dog, Javon. Is it starting to get to that point where we're going to have to back the Bengals soon? Maybe not this week, but Joe Burrow, the Bengals start out slow every season. Do we have to back them and catch the falling knife here in this spot, or do we keep waiting?
I would not be catching the falling knife with the Bengals for the entire season until, I mean, not saying they have to figure it out because it looks pretty grim at this point, but until they potentially do, I'll be out on. It's literally going to be fading them or no play on the game for me this week and just forever for the rest of the season until they look like a competent team, especially now with the injuries that they're dealing with. Not just Burrow, now T. Higgins is kind of in that conversation as well. They're thin at a lot of position groups. It's just they're a bad team. So, I mean, the line looks awfully short, but I mean, as you can see here, people are buying into the Cardinals, who have been pretty pesky and pretty good, a lot better than I think the record and expectations coming into their season would reflect. So, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if the Cardinals came and won this game outright at home. I just don't know what to do with the Bengals. I really have zero motivation to get involved in many of their games unless I am dead set on fading them like last week.
Okay. People in chat are saying they opened up -6.5. My goodness. Line's already pulled back to 3. I don't want to back either of these teams. I think the Cardinals, we saw their more of a realistic look at what the Cardinals are last week, although they still hung around and almost freaking covered. Got to tip your cap to Josh Dobbs. Got to tip your cap to the Arizona coaching staff for keeping that moose shit roster motivated and overperforming every single week. I still say they overperformed last week, even though they didn't cover. They kept that game way more competitive than I thought. And Josh Dobbs, he might not have a freaking jersey in his own NFL team store in Arizona, but that guy has earned the right to be an NFL starting QB with his brain. He's making all the right moves. He might not be having 80-yard passes down the field, but he's been accurate and honestly has impressed me a ton. So that's how the public feels too at this point. I feel like they've also bought into the Cardinals a little bit here. And now after 3 or 4 weeks of them playing pretty good, they know that Arizona is probably not the worst team in football, at least right now. So you're seeing the public back Arizona, and you're finally seeing the public jump off the Bengals, Javon. That's my point here. You're finally seeing it. Like last week, everyone still was on the Bengals. Everyone was saying, no fucking way the Titans win this game. No way Joe Burrow starts 1-3. Well, guys, now we're here. Now they're 1-3. Maybe we do hop on the Bengals here. I'm thinking about it, but you're probably right. The smarter move is to just wait it out. It's still the Bengals. It's still Joe Burrow. It's still a trendy, public team. And although they might not be public this week, maybe we just sit back and watch and wait until we see a healthy Joe Burrow actually play like he's supposed to. Because right now he's clearly hurt. He stinks.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
He's a one-read QB. He can't move. He has no power in his throws. He's throwing like a girl. It's bad. It's bad. He has no pop on his throws at all. If you watch him play, you'll know that. He looks like crap. And I know they start out slow all the time, but it's getting to the point where I might have to buy in, but I'll probably end up just waiting it out. But that line movement cannot be ignored. I wanted to bring it up today. All right.
Yeah. I mean, if you are going to get in, though, I don't think that line's going to get any fatter towards the Bengals until, at the very least, you're getting up to game time there. So might as well wait it out. I'm not catching the falling knife, though. But if there is a team I'll catch the falling knife on, it's the short spread we see right below this game.
The Vikings, Skull. What do you like about Kirk? You like that?
Skull. Yeah, I mean, this is like there's a lot of matchups for the Vikings that suck because it's going to be teams that are going to kind of make them one-dimensional with an already terrible run game. I think going into this game, they're going to know that they're going to be essentially one-dimensional against the Chiefs front seven. That's been fantastic for this season. But it just seems like to me, especially with this line continuing to tick down, this is the Kirk masterclass game that we get, the random one that we get. I mean, not to say he hasn't been playing well all season, because really I think this is one of the best stretches of the season that he's had in his career right now. It's just not his fault that they're losing games, but I think he plays incredible. Not to say the Vikings defense really holds up their end, but it's going to be a shootout. We have 53 total. So I think the Chiefs get this one at least to a field goal at home.
Okay. They're sitting at +4 right now. The splits look beautiful on the Vikings, although it's early for that really to matter. I'll tell you what, it's got to be Kirk. I don't care if people on Twitter are on it. I don't care who's on it. I don't even care if Terrell's on it. As we get 20 sub bangs from Willie Calhoun, 11 Willie Calhoun. Is that him?
Could be him.
Is that Willie Calhoun from the MLB? Willie.
Could be.
That could be him, or that could be his cousin. W sub bangs, Willie. Cannot confirm or deny you're an MLB guy, but holy smokes. W's. Willie, you're a beast, my man. Let me know what you're on today. Let me know if you need any picks, because we got you covered. Giving out 20 subs. Can we get some W's for Willie in chat, please? Need them. He just gave out a 20-piece. Hold the fry. We got my guy Albs as well coming in with a sub bang. 16 months. That's my GOAT and OG, if you will. W's. And W Willie. Love to see it. All right, give me the Vikings. The splits look great so far. Let's keep moving and grooving, Javon. It's about that time to talk about some wild card picks today. The people are starving for some winners. I actually called all 4 games yesterday, so today should go pretty well. Sniped all 4, Javon. Look, maybe it was just as easy as, spending an extra hour in the morning and looking at the lines, looking at the prize picks board, seeing what it's telling me, and checking the splits and making sure that those on Twitter aren't on the plays. But that's kind of what I did yesterday and ended up going 4-0 with the reads, 3-0 in actual plays that I posted. Rangers won 4-0 yesterday against your Rays, Javon. We had Toronto lose 3-1 against our Twins for a little squad ride W. Arizona pulled off a very impressive win on the road. Shout out Evan Longoria, who still got it. I mean, he was balling last night, both at the plate and at third base. That was so fun to watch. How about the D-backs stealing the first game of that series? My goodness. And then Miami dropping to the Phillies 4-1. That series might be over already. Straight up. Javon, you want to start with the first game of the day today? It does involve your squads. I need a pulse check on the Rays, and I need a play. Because we got tweets like this going out, Javon. Rays MLs, or retire your family and take the wife to the Maldives, Max Black. Oh,
I bet they are.
Well, it was one hell of a season, Javon. Congrats to your Rays. They started out with the best record in baseball, at the first half mark, and it was unbelievable. What do you? It's been for your Rays. Any words you want to send off, since this will be the last time we see them play?
I mean, watching them yesterday just feels exactly like the Guardians wild card series last year. It feels no different. Watching them be putrid at the plate. And, everybody's on them because I don't want to say the reason they lost this game. People are saying the reason they lost this game is because they committed a ridiculous amount of errors in the field. But even if they had the most pristine defensive game that you've ever seen in baseball history, they didn't score. So, that's not how they were going to win this game or prevent themselves from losing this game. So, until I see something from the plate or better approaches to the plate, I really can't hold that much hope. I know Eovaldi's been kind of shit since he's come back from injury. I think he's given up 18 runs in his last 3 starts. So, I guess who better to bounce back against than this lineup right now, which partially it's not their fault. A lot of them are banged up. You got guys out of the lineup as well. So you're playing a lot of young guys, a lot of guys you really can't hit. but there's not much hope that is inspiring me. And I'm not saying that 100% as a fan, but as a bettor here too. This feels like a pretty simple Eovaldi bounce back spot. But I will say this opening at 8 and kind of staying there is kind of speaking to me a little bit, saying maybe we get some runs here in this game, which, again, I know Eovaldi's been pretty bad since he's come back from injury, but Eflin, honestly, is the guy who should have started game 1. He's been the most consistent starter for this team. So to see this kind of sit there in the Trop, kind of stay there after the offensive performance that we saw from both teams, really. The Rangers were not impressive in the slightest either. Maybe we get runs. I wouldn't mind an over. Raise bats, maybe wake up a little bit, but not enough.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know how I want to target Eovaldi here, Javon, because, yes, he's been asked recently, but we know his postseason successes. The guy turns it up a notch in the postseason. He's done it for years. He's got that dog in him. Not saying he's Max Scherzer, but he has that edge on the mound that very few guys do in 2023. I mean, it's just facts. This guy is going to be better than we expect tonight. Not saying it's going to be good enough to get a win, but he will not look like the pitcher we saw the last month or so when he's been coming back from injury. He's got that dog in him, and that's the kind of guy I want my coins on. Now, I will say I do lean the Rangers to just end this today. I don't think I want to bet it. A lot of people I respect are on the Rays in the spots. I don't even want to fade your Rays, Javon. I want to see them make this a game 3 so we can talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But, man, I don't see a world where I can put my coins on the Rays right now. You guys just have the baseball gods against you. It's been one hell of a year. They're fucking with you at this point, Javon. I mean, the injuries, the pitching injuries, the Wander bullshits. You got one of the Lau or Low bros. Their mother has cancer right now that they're dealing with, which is extremely sad, and prayers up for their family. But it just has not been a good year for the Rays. They don't have luck on their side right now. And to be honest with you, I don't think they last till tomorrow. I hate to say it, but I think I just lean the Rangers in the spot.
Yeah, I will surely not be putting coins on the Rays today.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Sad vibes. At least you're here, though. You know, you can't really ever complain when your team's in the postseason. I know how the year started. I know you thought you were going to the World Series. I know you were thinking this is the year. But your squad got to the postseason, and with their salary cap and what they're working with, it still impresses me every single year to see teams and organizations like the Rays leave their mark and be that dominant. And although they have their back against the wall right now and they're one loss away from elimination, it's been one hell of a year for the Rays.
It sucks because the guys that would be starting game 1, game 2, and a potential game 3 of the series are all injured. It's like we'd be seeing a Shane. I don't know what they would do at Glass now at this point, but Shane, Springs, and Rasmussen all gone. It's just piss.
Just not their year, man. It happens all the time in baseball. The hardest part about baseball is staying healthy. 162-game season. It's the toughest part. People underestimate it. They don't see, crazy football hits going on. They think it's the easiest sport ever. But it's fucking hard for these guys to stay healthy for 7 months in a row, especially the older guys. And there's teams every year that, unfortunately, the baseball gods, they take care of it themselves. And they eliminate some of these teams by, giving them some bad luck. And the Rays have it right now. We got Drunk B4 Nooner. What a name. Coming in with a sub-bang 4 months. W's. I think we both agreed that it's Rangers ML for a lean here. And maybe the over. Okay. W's. Let's talk about a game where we're definitely, or at least I'm going to definitely have my coins on. Toronto versus Minnesota. W Twins yesterday, but chat, it's got to be short memory. And we got to go back and we got to fade this team today. I hate to say it. We don't have to fade and back Toronto on the ML in the game, but we at least have to take Toronto in the first 5 plus a half. We got that Barrios square up on Prize Picks for the earned runs at 2.5, which is telling me he's going to pitch pretty darn well today. And I think he does. And even if that square wasn't up there, I'd want to be back in Toronto in some capacity in this spot. I just don't know if I want my money on Toronto if this is a tie game down the stretch in the 8th or 9th inning, when you're going to see Duran and you're going to see a better Minnesota bullpen against Toronto's bullpen on the road that's just not that good. Toronto's bullpen at home? Sure. They're pretty freaking good. Toronto's bullpen at home in this spot when they've disappointed and let people down all season and really have never put it all together, that's not a bullpen. That's not a team. I want my coins on for 9 innings. So give me Toronto first 5 plus a half in this spot. I think Barrios outpitches Sonny Gray today. I do. Give me the plus a half and getting it out in this game. I want nothing to do with it from innings 6 to 9.
Yeah, I can see that. And I definitely lean Jays in the spot too. It's tough because these are like the out of anything in the playoffs, I would say the toughest games to go on and cap is game 2 of the wild card series, so the wild card weekend. So these are tough because you're going to look at a bounce back angle for every single team in every single game. And then the one or two public teams that everybody just thinks is going to roll and is dead, I guess like the Phillies today. So the Blue Jays are kind of in between that. But with Berrios on the mound, I think he's going to pitch pretty well. And then Sonny Gray on the other side, if the Jays bats are able to wait him out and be pretty patient and kind of rely on him to be aggressive and make pitches, they're going to hit him. They're going to score off them today. So I trust that their bats to get to Sonny Gray. It's just going to be the question of Berrios behind him. So I trust him. And I think this is going to be a neck-and-neck game. Not Blue Jays really go out there and kind of dominate from the start, but I do like the Jays.
Looks like they just put up Sonny Gray's fantasy score finally, Javon, at least within the last 30 minutes or so, because I wasn't up before BTL. Yeah, it's out. It's at 26.5, a little bit higher than what he did last week against Oakland, but I wouldn't say they put it high enough where I think the Twins win this game. I feel like if I saw anything below 30, I'd be feeling pretty good, and he's at 26.5. But again, Javon, you live in the PrizePicks app. You need to tell me if I'm correct, what you think about this fantasy.
I'll say this. For playoffs, the mean fantasy scores are going to be much lower. Like if you go through the board, you're not really going to see very many 30s on a given day. You see maybe one or two, especially with guys like Sonny Gray. Yeah, the leashes are a lot shorter. So like pitching outs and quality start probabilities are much, much lower. So that's why they're going to be – these are probably some of the highest that you're going to see, like high 20s. And then you'll have the one or two straight 30s, like Aaron Nola's in the 30s today, and I think he's the only one.
Okay. All right. Damn, that's interesting. Nola getting some respect after a moose shit season. Maybe that series is over. We'll get to that at the end. All right. Do you want to fade Sonny Gray at all on PrizePicks today? Somebody in chat mentioned his pitching out square. I don't see that up here. I see his hits allowed square. I see his strikeout square. I don't see any pitching outs up here on the board, folks. Does that square make you feel weird about the Twins at all or no?
No, not really.
Okay. Do you think he goes more than 15.5 innings today? I don't.
No, not really. I'll be honest with you there. But, I mean, if we're looking at a square that makes you feel a certain way in this game, I feel like you got to go Berrios.
Yes, it is Berrios, 100%. And I know Berrios is an ex-Twin. This is a revenge game, but I fucking love backing him there. And I know he's a notorious postseason melter. But you know what? I'll give him one more shot, and I'll take that less than 2.5 earned runs for Berrios in this game. Any squares you like in that first game, Javon? Any Ray squares at all? I know that's your squad.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not all that much up other than Josh Lowe. It's probably the only thing I consider there. He's the only matchup outside of like Randy that I think I trust against Nate Eovaldi, because they've needed a lefty bat in there. They couldn't have him yesterday against Jordan Montgomery, so it's lefty, and he can't hit that. But yeah, he's the guy that I think is going to spark the offense today if they get to that point. So I would go Josh Lowe.
Can we go Evan Carter less than half a TV? Revenge play after we did it yesterday, and he looked unbelievable.
You took his under yesterday?
Yep.
GG's. What do you have, 4 hits?
Worst play of all time.
That was some piss.
Krabs.
He wouldn't hate it.
I'm not mentioning him today. I don't even know who that is. So cannot do it. It's just business, but I will not be saying that name. Guys, I have Toronto plus a half first 5. You think I'm saying that name today? What are you, crazy? You think I like losing money? I'm not saying shit today. I don't even know what they're talking about. Give me a break. And yeah, Michael A. Taylor call yesterday. And I'm not saying shit, Kobe. I'm not saying shit. All right. You're not going to hear that name out of me today. All right. Maybe no great squares in the Rangers-Rays game. I'm not loving anything besides maybe trying to get cute and fade that Eovaldi square, or maybe back in Nate Lau. Any opinions on that Nate Lau 1.5 hits, runs, RBI square?
Nate or Josh? Talking about Rangers?
Nate. I'm talking about, Nate, the Ranger.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate it. Somebody's going to do it. Outside of Corey Seager, it's probably going to be him. I'll be honest with you. But, yeah, I wouldn't hate fading just Eovaldi because I don't know that his leash is going to be – I mean, nobody's leash is going to be all that long. But I think they do make life a little tough for him early, which is why you've seen his pitching outs down to 14 flat now. I think he goes 4.
I wouldn't mind taking Eovaldi less than pitching outs. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Does it scare you that his hits allowed is only at 4? Probably not, because he's going to have a short leash and he's probably not going to pitch that long anyways.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's
Okay.
got 14 pitching outs. So, I mean,
All right. So if you needed a square in this first game, you think our best look is at Eovaldi less than 14 pitching out square?
it's a good question. I don't even know if I have like one just donkey in this first game. It's just there's so much that could go on with this game. Like, I like runs, but at the same time, it's hard to trust the Rays offense to do that. So, I mean, I would probably have to say back to the wall. Still give me Josh Lowe, the one guy that I can trust, not named Randy.
Huh. Okay. We'll go Josh for now. Maybe try to craft up a 4-piece, 1 square in every game. We'll go Josh more than 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. We'll go Berrios less than earned runs for the second game. I love that square, man. You cool with that?
Yeah.
Dubs. Let's talk about game number 3. This one should be a good one, folks. I'm excited. Let's talk a little bit about Arizona and Milwaukee. Arizona last night. Longoria showing that experience last night, coming through on a young team, making some great plays at third base. It looked like he hopped in a time machine, making those plays over there. It was great to watch. Made me so happy. And he came through at the plate as well. Corbin Carroll doing things yesterday. Marte doing stuff yesterday. Arizona getting a shocking outright win with Fat on the bump against a former Cy Young winner. Giovanna had that one to a T yesterday. It was always Arizona. I should have taken the ML, not the +1.5. That was soft. That's all me. But you know what we got to do today, man? Short memory. Yesterday was yesterday. Arizona might have cashed for us, but I don't give a hoot. That was yesterday. Let's look at this game today. And I don't see a world where we don't back Milwaukee in this spot to bounce back with Peralta on the bump against Gallen, a public favorite. We know Gallen's had some struggles on the road this season, Javon. He's not that guy that he is at home, where he's one of the best arms in baseball. On the road, he's beatable. And I think Milwaukee, with that veteran lineup overall, with their backs against the wall, and with Peralta on the bump, the strikeout machine, I think they get a win here. I love the line move, 5 cents towards Milwaukee in this spot. Give me the ML for Milwaukee. Probably my favorite play of the day.
Yeah, I agree. This is, again, second game of wild card series. You're going to have arguments for bounce back spots for everybody, and you're going to see that everywhere. The one that I would go to the grave with is Milwaukee. And honestly, it's not really because I believe Freddie Peralta is going to pitch incredibly amazing. I think he's going to get touched up a little bit early in the game, just like Corbin Burns. But I think Zach Gallen does double that on the other side, which we've faded him quite a bit on the road, and it's worked out pretty well this season because he struggled immensely there. And against this Brewers lineup that I do think matches up pretty well with him, especially the one that they're going to roll out today, I like their chances to score some runs off him in this game. So I'll be definitely targeting some Brewers.
Well, you know what I'm going to ask next. What's that damn Prize Picks board telling you? What's it saying to you? I know it's whispering some shit in your ear. I know you're always in there. You might as well be paying rent to live there. Is that where you moved? Be honest.
Yeah, that's where I moved to PPHQ. Yeah.
What are we taking here, bro? Is there a Brewers bat we can take, or do we have to just take that Yelich less than a run? Why do I hate Yelich, man? I don't want to fade him. I don't know.
Yeah, why do you hate Yelich so much, man? That's crazy.
I don't know. I wanted to take his less than run yesterday. Didn't take it. He ended up scoring a run. So now I definitely want to take his less than run, although I'm on the Brewers. So it might be tough. I don't know. There's something about Yelich. Took his less than multi-home run games this year, and that smacked and maybe looked like a fool. I don't know. I don't like him.
Fair. Yeah, fair.
Can you give me a real square that we can back in this game that maybe goes more according to how we want to back the Brewers today?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to back the hot bat, which you're probably going to see the chart and not feel all that compelled to take it. But the matchup I like the most here is William Contreras. He has a fantasy score on today, which is interesting.
Can we talk about what he did behind the plate last night? I mean, he was hosing people on the base paths. Yeah. Honestly, not just people. He was hosing the speedy Diamondbacks on the base paths last night. I think he had at least 2 runners thrown out. He had one at second that was electric. He had one at third that was electric, and honestly kept them in the game at that point. Holy shit. he looked unbelievable back there. And it's not even like Wilson or William Contreras is that good of a defensive catcher. Maybe he has been in years past, but this season, I mean, I've heard him getting roasted on broadcast all year, talking about how he's been kind of mid back there behind the plate. But he showed out, and he kept the Brewers in that game last night with his arm behind the dish. Javon, he's locked in right now, although he's been on fire recently at the plate too. That's a guy that I wouldn't mind squaring up and back in today because he's got that playoff mentality. Half these guys get that tight butthole syndrome. You guys have heard Trent talk about it. It's a real thing in baseball, especially young dudes in their first postseason. There's something about playoff baseball that makes young guys shake in their boots. They get so tight they can't even fucking play. Straight up. William Contreras, I got no issues with him. He looks confident out there. He kept him in the game yesterday. He's on fire. I wouldn't mind squaring up for Kitchen taking him.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to score runs with Zach Gallen, I definitely would love to lean on what is, in all likelihood, the hottest bat in the lineup. So William Contreras with a good matchup too that's my guy today. But I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up. You know who's leading home run odds for this game? Ahead of Christian Walker, ahead of Willie Adames, ahead of Ketel Marte, ahead of Contreras.
Don't say
Josh
CJ
Donaldson.
Carroll. Oh. JD, who's been on
JD.
absolute fuego. Absolute fire.
Maybe this is the day, which another surprisingly hot bat in the lineup. Maybe it's the day you lean on him too.
Dude,
She's not up. I wish he was up for something on the PPR.
He's not up for anything. Nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. You know what? I like Josh Donaldson now. Hated him on the Yankees. For some reason, ever since he's left, I'm a fan. Weird. I'm rooting for his success. I think it's because I want him to look and make the Yankees look like fools for letting him go for nothing. Not a great dude.
Yeah.
Don't like how he acts. He's a douche. But I like him. I'm rooting for him right now. Ex-Yankee trying to prove people wrong, make them look even stupider than they are. So I would love to see Donaldson do something. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough. We
Well,
do
right
also
now,
have
I think we got to roll with Contreras, right?
Yeah, I like Contreras, and I know we're not looking for Brewers contradicting squares, but again, one that I would have to bring up.
Oh, no.
Freddie Peralta walk square is right up your alley. Right up your alley.
Pull up the chart.
Pull up that
It's
chart,
so
guys.
bad. Pull up the chart. It's so bad. Oh. Dude.
Yeah.
We don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just
I mean, the one thing, like, I don't think he is going to go out there and throw 7 scoreless or anything. But the one thing on your side, I guess, baseball reasoning for it too, outside of the fact that D-backs have been pretty patient, the leash on Freddie is going to have to probably be a little longer than, I guess, the majority of the other pitchers because the bullpen. I guess both pitchers in this game, leash is going to have to be a little longer than a lot of situations because of the bullpen usage yesterday. Everybody's gassed on both sides. So maybe he loses it late, walks a couple when they really can't afford to pull him just yet. So, I mean, that could be a situation that's not disastrous for the Brewers, but you just might have to do it.
Well, I'm legally obligated to tell you and counter with this other square. Freddie Peralta,
Counter.
less than 3.5 hits allowed. Let's take a look at that chart, Javon. And yes, I'd rather take the walk square. It's nastier.
Yeah.
It's got crabs written all over it. And I'm still down to take that one, but also, legally obligated to show you guys this square because it's nasty as heck. Peralta just got rocked by Miami. He got rocked by St. Louis, kind of. Not really. But that last game where you got 9 hits and only 3 innings of work against Miami in his last outing of the season. This chart makes me think that we're going to get a Peralta gem. Yeah, he's not going to be giving up hits. I guess the only base runners he's going to be giving up are freaking walks. Oh, okay. Props.cash. Chat, if you guys aren't using Props.cash to do your prize picks research, you are behind the 8 ball and you are missing out on opportunities to craft up. You guys want to know why Lauren's so freaking sharp on prize pick squares? It's because she looks at Props.cash every single morning. I swear to God. She will confirm it. I'm not saying she's just grabbing whatever's on that app, but she uses it every single day to find winners on those 2-piece MLB Live squares. And they've been printing, knock on woods, clap it up. She's been on fire. All right, guys, this shit works. I used to be the worst prize picks, better of all time until about a month or two ago when I started actually using props.cash. Go check it out. We've got a promo running right now. Use promo Book It and get yourself a discount the first month. If you hate it after 1 month, get rid of it. It's cheap. All right, go check it out for 1 month. I promise if you use Prize Picks, it's worth your time at least downloading the app and checking it out. All right, go look at it. Let's keep moving and grooving. Javon, I think it's got to be that Freddie Peralta more than 1.5 walk square. I don't see a world where you don't take that.
Yeah, just might have to.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the night game. I think it's pretty clear where our coins will reside in the Brewers D-backs game. Both of us on Milwaukee ML, and we move. Let's talk about Miami and Philly real quick, Javon. Is this series over? Is it done?
Yes, but I don't think it's going to feel like it for parts of this game.
Okay.
Say that. I think the Marlins put up some runs today, but I do think the Phillies will do a little more. Like, I think Braxton Garrett would be fortunate to see the 5th inning, and that's being generous. I don't know where his outs line is, but I can only assume it's pretty low because I think he gets tapped up early by this Phillies lineup. But I also think Aaron Nola is going to be not so Aaron Nola-like against the Fish today. Like, I think this is a game where I wouldn't be shocked to see both teams score in the first inning. Your few bettors absolutely swimming in coin. And then we just get back and forth action. 13.5? Good Lord.
What the?
That's low even for Braxton Garrett in the offs. But, yeah, I think you would, again, be fortunate to go over that and see the 5th inning. But, or I guess he could get into the 5th inning and still get there. But I do think they hit him up today. I think he had a fantasy score up that was super, super low on Prize Picks too, and it's no longer on the board, which is potentially good to see as the Phillies bats backer, I guess, with 99% of America is at this point. But I think they destroy him. And I think Nola gives up a couple runs too. So, I mean, I like the over here. I think Philly wins it late off the Marlins bullpen, but you get a lot of fireworks early.
You don't want to take Jesus Sanchez less than half a TB, right? Got to bring it up.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I don't, though. I don't.
Okay. All right. Damn, Jazz did strike out twice yesterday. That was a W square we actually gave out. All right. But, Javon, your favorite square, at least on Miami, is that Braxton Garrett less than 13.5 pitching outs?
Just might be. I was looking at taking his fantasy score under before. That was not an option anymore. I think it was 20.5 maybe, and got bumped down a time or two. So, I mean, super, super low there. So, yeah, I would have to say that. I think he gets destroyed in this game. But I also wouldn't mind. I haven't looked too much at the Marlins bats yet. I guess we only have, outside of Jesus Sanchez, Josh Bell Arias, and then the stray Nick Fortes. Wouldn't mind backing one of them too.
Maybe Luis Arias, who's been a little cold, hasn't been carrying his weight in the playoffs yet.
Could be the day.
I don't think I want to take Josh Bell, who had a pretty good day, I think, in their last one. I think maybe it'd be Luis Arias' fantasy score or hits, runs, RBIs, Javon. Wouldn't mind backing those. I still think I like your read better on that pitching out square for Braxton Garrett, though.
Fair.
Yep.
Fair enough.
And, yeah, Arias is hurt as heck. I mean, I've seen the videos of him barely even being able to walk out there, so maybe that's not a guy we want to take today. As great as he is, his ankle is mucked. I mean, it's absolutely cookie. He can barely walk. Right? Okay. Yeah. Is it Harper today?
If I was taking a Philly, which I still might, he's probably my guy. It's between him and
here's some things that are. Yep. Here's some things that are sticking out to me on the Philly board, Javon. Wouldn't mind going JT Realmuto or Castellanos, hits, runs, RBIs. I think it's interesting. They got that Trey Turner and Schwarber run up there on the board, definitely making me think there's going to be some runs from Philly today. And I wouldn't mind backing Harper, who's not been, as dialed in over the past week or so, to come through in a spot where he notoriously does. Bryce Harper is Mr. Clutch. And in October, wouldn't be shocked if he's the one that pulls through and hits a nuke today.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked either. That Trey Turner run square is interesting too. We gone through stretches where obviously when he was peak Trey Turner form, not that he's like bad off of that necessarily, but in that stretch of month and a half, ridiculous run square, super, super green, not as much anymore, but I look in spots where it's a little juicier than Kyle Schwarber and they're both up. That's been kind of a money printer. So I'm looking at that same odds discrepancy today, and where we already like runs in the game, could be the time.
I think Trey Turner does score today, if I had to guess, especially against a lefty for the first couple innings. Don't doubt Trey Turner getting on base, maybe swiping a bag and scoring early in this game. He's been in the postseason before. He knows what he's doing. This ain't his first rodeo. Don't sleep on Trey to get going in the playoffs and carry this Phillies team into the next round. Okay? W's.
100%.
I still like the Braxton Garrett less than pitching out square the most.
Fair enough.
Do you have a counter? Is there another square you'd rather put in?
No, there's no counter. It would be probably between that and, I guess, Trey at this point. It's kind of leaning Harper initially, but the more we talked about it, I'm down to go Trey.
Okay. All right. Did we cover the early 2 games already? Yes, sir, Brandon. And you guys are always more than welcome to go back and rewatch the BTL episodes on the YouTube and Twitch page. Okay. But I will go over a quick recap of what we like in the first games. We've got Texas ML in the over. We lean in game 1. Game 2, I'm on Toronto, first 5 plus a half. Javon, you lean Toronto. Were there any other
Toronto? I don't think I'm going to get in there.
Okay.
No, I think I'm just staying off of that one. But yeah, Toronto lean for me.
Yep. We both like Milwaukee. We're both going to be on Milwaukee in this spot, right?
Yep.
W's. And I don't think I'm going to be betting Philly on the ML, but I definitely lean that way. And I think this series is over.
Yeah. And I'll be on the over.
Javon's got runs in that game. He's locking in the over in the late night one. All right. And then the prize picks entry. We'll show this to you guys real quick. Javon, a little 4-piece. 2 more thans, 2 less thans. This is right up our alley, Javon. 1 square in every game for the MLB slate today. I don't see how we can't, knock 1 square out every single game and see green and go 4 and hit Wendy's. We got Josh Lowe, more than 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs in the first game. We got Jose Barrios, less than 2.5 earned runs allowed in game 2. We got Freddie Peralta, more than 1.5 walks allowed in game 3. That square is disgusting. I almost threw up just saying it. And then we got Braxton Garrett, less than 13.5 pitching outs. Good amount of pitcher squares. But you know what? The last time we took 3 pitcher squares, we smacked the B team entry. Good vibes.
Yeah, people forget. People do forget
that. W's. Don't overthink. Phil's minus 1.5. Marlins can't score. Dead Larry Bird, I'm with you, man. I think if I had to square up and take 1 play, it'd be just the Phillies to get it done today. And Javon, if you're on the over in that game and you're thinking there's going to be plenty of runs, it probably is a better look to just grow a sack and just take the minus 1.5 because they're probably not going to win that game by 1 run in a high-scoring affair.
No, they might.
Oh, okay.
They might. I could see it like 5-4, 6-5 Phillies.
Okay. I retract that statement. Give me the ML on Phil. All right. Dubs chats, we got about 15 minutes. Let's power through these Wednesday night college football games, Javon, really quick. Nothing great, nothing special, but I think we can both agree that we're probably going to be on Middle Tennessee State here in this spot to get their first Sun Belt win of the season against new D1 team Jacksonville State, who honestly has overperformed so much this season, so far this season. And I've been fading them a little bit. I'm going to do it again tonight. Jacksonville State, their first real tough road test as a 4-1 squad in the FBS here, going to Middle Tennessee State, a team that's 1-4, and that line opened up at 4.5. Middle Tennessee State is a favorite here against a 4-1 Jacksonville State team that's impressed me. That's weird. And yeah, they're Conference USA, not Sun Belt. That's on me. CUSA. All right. Don't get them twisted. Either way, though, same type of thing. Moose Shit Conference. They're looking to get their first win here. And I'll tell you what, I'll be laying it with Middle Tennessee State, and I'm in no rush to, Javon. That spread just keeps on ticking back to the public dog here for Jacksonville State. We might be able to wait and potentially get minus 2.5 here.
Yeah, I would be 100% down. I think Jacksonville State, they're 4-1 to this point with a lot of miracles kind of involved with that and pretty soft scheduling. So, I'm not a person that's going to believe in this team just yet. Probably won't get to that point through the rest of the season. And Middle Tennessee State, I think, matches up pretty well with them to kind of expose everything there, especially when you talk about a team that's somewhat fraudulent. And yes, that is 100% true. You talk about a team that's somewhat fraudulent you especially want to get on them being exposed when they're such a rush-heavy team like Jacksonville State is. They rely a lot on the ground game, which when you go up against a team that is kind of going to be a better counter to stop that, that's more room to be exposed. Like those teams are the ones I want to fade, especially with MTSU team that's been very, very disappointing, still laying a field goal here in this game. So I am 100% in, no matter what the line creeps back to for Middle Tennessee State, hopping in on them today.
100%. And yes, Jacksonville State, guys, people forget they were down a touchdown with 13 seconds left in that game last weekend against Sam Houston State. It was actually on bad beats for Sam Houston State, Javon, your team. Thank God we didn't take them last week, or if you did, you sneaked them.
No.
They had no business even winning that game. And they go down the field, they tie it up in impressive fashion there with like 10 seconds left, and they go to OT, and they actually end up covering the -6.5 last week. Like Javon's been saying, like Chat's been saying, this might be the most fraudulent 4-1 team out there in D1 football, straight up. Do not be fooled by the record. There's a reason a 1-4 Middle Tennessee State team here at home is the favorite against a team with a much better record who's looked much better this year. But if you've actually watched Jacksonville State play, if you look at their opponents, if you look at that BS fluke win they got last week, and you know that the gambling gods are probably not going to bless them 2 weeks in a row, it's got to be Middle Tennessee State in this nasty spot at home. And I don't even care that the line's moving back down, although would I prefer it if they were moving the other way? Sure, I would. And that'd be even weirder if they became a heavier favorite. But I'm not surprised to see the spread pull back towards Jacksonville State, a team with a better records, especially because they're public. They're getting more than half the bets on the ML. They're getting more than half the bets and handle on the spread. Give me Middle Tennessee State. They get it done. Lay the points. Don't rush to bet this. You might end up getting a better line by kickoff.
Yeah, 100%.
Dubs. Any squares you like in this game?
Not many. I don't think when I first looked, they have many up. I think they recently, like right before we started, loading them up. So we'll have to dive into those for maybe a little A-team, B-team action. But I haven't seen it. I haven't seen much.
Okay.
I've gotten to the lab with these.
Yep. I will say the one square that was looking to me funny in this game is that Nicholas Vadiato more than 1.5 passing touchdown square from their QB who had 0 last week. Now, Javon, you talk about this team winning with the run game today. That might scare me off this square a little bit, but I can't ignore it
not them.
after you dropped a goose egg last week.
No, I think not them. I was talking about Jacksonville State. They're such a rush-heavy team. It's like they're fraudulent. When you go against teams that can kind of expose that, that's when those type of teams get exposed. But Middle Tennessee State is far from a rush-heavy team. They throw the ball a lot. So against a secondary that's been really, really good for Jacksonville State, but again, strength of scheduling issue there, could be the day.
Okay. Chat, the square's looking at me funny. Feel free to join me on that journey. That might end up in the A-team or B-team this afternoon. W's. All right. Javon, any other squares, any other plays in this game before we move on to maybe the worst college football game of the season, FIU New Mexico State?
Yeah, nope. We can move that game.
Yeah, and we can keep it quick because there's not much to say. I lean New Mexico State. If I had to take something in this game, and I can't believe I'm saying I like both favorites tonight on a Wednesday night college football slate, but I kind of do. Lines moved from 5.5 to 6.5. Again, a team with a losing record is a big favorite at home against a 3-2 FIU team who has some big name guys who have transferred there, but I'm not buying that team. And that total's down 2.5 points, Javon. I know you were thinking of maybe targeting that total.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of lean the under here, and it's continuing to drop. But, I mean, New Mexico State is going to run all over FIU. I mean, FIU is a team that's found a little bit of success because they switched to a 3-3-5, and, like, their secondary's been good. They've been kind of graded out at the top of passing success across the charts if you look at a lot of the metrics, and that's kind of why. And now they're going up against a team like a quarterback who's going to run himself, just an overall scheme that is very ground and pound. So I don't think it's the best matchup for them. New Mexico State's going to do what a lot of the teams say they're going to do with a 3-3-5, just run down their throats. Like Michigan said they're going to do at TCU. That worked out pretty well for them. But I think New Mexico State can actually do that today. So I think it's going to be a lot of ground and pound, a lot of chewing of the clock, not great in the red zone. I think it's like a ugly New Mexico State win by like a touchdown, like a 24-17, something like that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, chat's asking, would you lean the under? Yep. Maybe not in that first game, though. Second game. First game, I don't know. There might be some points in that first game for Middle Tennessee State. I don't know if I'll be taking that under.
Could be.
Looks like we got a little over in FIU, New Mexico from Mikey. Interesting, the third line there. We're not going to go into that, but some fire uniform plays here.
Crazy line.
I don't know. I'm going to have to follow up on that one.
We got to be better.
All right. We got to play in that game, sure. Javon, I don't love that game. I'm not going to be playing anything in FIU and New Mexico State, but I will have my coins on Middle Tennessee State on the spread in that first game. W's. Patriots rookie cornerback will miss the rest of the season with a torn labrum. Christian Gonzalez. Wow. He was really shiny.
Yeah.
That stinks.
Yeah.
That makes the J.C. Jackson move make a lot more sense. Okay.
100%.
All right. Interesting. Chat. Let's go over the squad ride. Let's lock these plays in. And while you vote, we'll recap what we liked for today and give you guys the rundown because I know half of you fuckers joined late and you need the little W recap from today. We got best bets below. If you guys are looking to lock in winners right this second, maybe you got to go. Maybe you got a hot date. You got to lock in your plays. We got you right there. But Javon, let's craft up our favorite play of the day today. We got to craft up a squad ride winner. W played with the Twins yesterday. Let's stay hot. I know we're not putting the Twins in there today.
Yeah, definitely not.
I think we go Middle Tennessee State -3.
Yep. Don't be afraid of the gridiron tonight. 100%. No, we got playoff baseball, but don't be afraid to tap.
Don't be scared. Krabs trusting the Commanders in Survivor this week. Chat, please do not take the Commanders in the Survivor pool this week. Please do not. Not saying you got to bet the Bears, but that line keeps pulling back, and I want nothing to do with the Commanders in that game, man. Straight up. Maybe it'll change by kickoff, but right now I'm sketched, and I wouldn't be surprised if we lose that game outright, especially at home in prime time under the lights. It's what we do. But maybe this is a new regime, a new Commanders team. TBD. Big game. We're going to learn a lot about the Commanders on Thursday. A lot. I'm excited.
Sam Howell legacy game.
It could be Sam Howell legacy game. If he can't do it against that defense and that secondary, he might not be the guy. All right.
Yeah, he might have to.
Minnesota ML.
Milwaukee, you mean?
Milwaukee ML.
Yeah.
Definitely not Minnesota ML. What about Toronto first 5 plus a half against Minnesota?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go. W's. You want to take anything in the Phillies game or in your Rays game? Probably not your Rays game because it starts up in an hour.
Yeah, not the Rays game. Starts too soon. But over in the Marlins game for sure. Yeah.
Yep. Miami, Philly over. Over 8, I believe. You want to take that college football under in game 2 at FIU, New Mexico State?
I guess we need a 5th play. So, yeah.
I fucking guess so. Okay.
Yeah.
Under 49 piece. Chat, 5 plays, 5 winners. We're going to run the poll for 5 minutes. We've got Middle Tennessee State -3. Sorry, we're running for 4 minutes. Milwaukee money line. We've got Toronto first 5 plus a half. And Miami, Philly over 8. Don't sleep on FIU. New Mexico State under 9. I know you guys are absolutely foaming at the mouth, getting ready to lock that bet in. That should be an exciting one. The under in FIU, New Mexico State. Sure.
Yeah,
that one's going to get the least votes and probably end up winning by 21.
Yeah, just maybe. It's all right. I'm getting my MTSU vote in.
Wow. That's how confident you are in the gridiron today.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I like that matchup a lot for him.
Are you getting weird vibes from Milwaukee ML? Is that why you made that comment?
No, not at all.
Okay. All right, because that's what I'm voting for. But chat, get your votes in. Like I've said before, I don't care what the hell you vote for as long as it's green. Do what you've been doing for the last year, and that's click the right button. Plain and simple, chats. Get your winners in. We need you guys absolutely dialed in and getting those locks in there. Krabs, when does Bethune play again? I'm itching. Dude, we got to figure it out, man. And also, we need an update on, is that third string Lamar Jackson QB the starter now? We haven't even got an update for people.
He better be. He better be. He was.
Did they not have a game this week, folks? You know what? It's because they're in the FCS and they play Alabama State. God, it's Bethune-Cookman. They're 1-3. Looks like they covered actually to Jackson State last week. They covered plus 21. That was free. Why didn't we take that?
He played.
Gotta be
that was him too. He was starting. We might have to back him.
No
this week.
way.
Alabama State. Yeah,
Chat.
he was the one
Talk about a
playing.
look ahead line. Whenever that line pops up, it might be a while because there's no line even to be found right now in that game. But we might
There
have
might
to
not
ride
be
Bethune-Cookman for the
at
vibes
all.
on Saturday at
Yeah,
3 p.m.
Bethune-Cookman.
There might not be a line at all. Yep. We don't know.
Nope.
But if there is, we might have to just take it for the vibes. It's got to be Bethune-Cookman. This weekend, chat, hurry up, get your votes in. Go, 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 go. You got 2 minutes. Hurry up, get your votes in for the squad rides. It's Milwaukee right now, taking the cake over MTSU. No excuses why we can't get 100 votes for the winner. Guys, if you're in the YouTube, come over to the Twitch page, Book It Sports, if you want to vote for the poll in the Twitch chat. And if you're in here just listening, take 3 seconds, open up the screen, go into the chat, and click your vote for the squad ride. You get about 20 seconds. Hurry up, get your votes in. Go, go, go. Rays Rangers under boosted at your favorite book. Ooh. Ooh. Okay.
Fireworks.
W's. Chipper gets it. All right, Chipper. Might have to be runs in the first game of the day. Javon, are we going to get a little sneak over in Texas and Tampa today?
Yeah, I mean, I think we do. I'm hoping it's a little more Rays and Rangers. I don't know if I have that confidence. Look at Mage.
Look at that squad ride vote, folks. We got Milwaukee on the ML getting a 74-piece, barely inching out Middle Tennessee State on the spread. Chat, responsibly take both this plays, but the squad ride tonight, we're going to the Brew Crew, who was an enemy yesterday, and they've now become a friend. We're going Brew Crew at home to even up the series, keep their playoff hopes alive, and we'll meet you guys at the counter when the Brewers come through for us. All right, W's chat. Stick around for the third stream. Trent's taking us through the slates. People coming up giving winners. All right, stick around. We've got plenty to cover. Postseason baseball, college football tonight, the whole 9 yards. Stick around, folks, and lock in the Brewers on the ML for the BTL squad ride today. Javon, W return. Make sure you guys tail Lauren's MLB live slip. Please, 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 please. Make sure you guys check out Elsie's Twitter and tail her 2-piece prize pick slip because those have been absolutely printing, and I hope I didn't just jinx it. All right, chat. W's Javon getting you back today. W move. It's good you're getting that shit rolling, and great to see your face back up here today. The people needed the milk, and they got it. W's.
Of course. W's.
All right, my man.
We're back.
Chat, we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. We'll be seeing. Let's go, Brew Crew.
Let's do it.